Hello viewers, welcome to another player spotlight video on the channel. Thankfully, you guys absolutely smashed the like target of 250 likes on the video by Monday, well when I looked anyway. So you're going to get 2 more midfielders this week. Happy days. Look what happens. You give me the likes, I give you 2 players. That is what it's all about. This player today is special. Now, before we get into it, can we please hit the like target again? Is it too much to ask? 250 likes, that's all I would like. 250 likes. Leave a comment down below whether you've heard of the player or not. The more interactions, the more pressing of the like button, the better in the YouTube algorithm we get, which means the more people see these videos, more people subscribe, and then you get more videos. That's how this YouTube thing works. Sorry if I came off really patronising then. I didn't mean to. I did not mean to. Anyway, before we go, last thing, thank you very much for the Patreon members. If you haven't done so already, please check out the Patreon. Don't feel obliged to actually, obviously, pledge there. But if you can afford to and you would like to, then there is a Patreon link down below. Or visit www.patreon.com/OmegaLukeGaming. Remember, just $2 a month is the lowest tier that you can possibly pledge on there. $2. If everyone pledged $2, I'll be able to do this full time. I bring you 3 or 4 player spotlights a week. That would be unbelievable. I'd leave that in your hands, shall I? But this is the player we're looking at today. Yes, I'm excited to bring you this man, Isaac Bergman Johansson. Now, this is the third of 4 centre midfielders / well, to be fair, they were all kind of midfielders, but one didn't necessarily play there, although we could have with Conrad. But this is a third or 4th midfielders that we're bringing you player spotlights in a row before we go on to some defenders, and this man is Icelandic. Yes, I'm excited about this. An Icelandic. He is 16, however, he is playing in Sweden. He was sort of captured from the Icelandic league. Now he plays for this team, IFK. We're going to leave it at that, viewers. I'm not going to carry on and butcher that name. Norrköping. Peter Salin. Did I get that correct? Peter Salin will let me know. Anyway, Isaac Bergman Johansson, 16 years old, on £8 a week, bless him. I was actually on more money than that when I was 15 because I had a paper round which was giving me a tenner. So I feel sorry for the man because he is touted as a really good future player for Iceland. There's a lot of promise about him. There is a lot of promise about him going forward. Now, he only has just signed for Sweden, the Swedish team here. But don't fret, he hasn't been there long enough that he hasn't been there in such a short period that he won't join anyone else. You can approach the sign, but don't do that. If you offer them money, you can get him for a lot cheaper. And I will show you just that. So if you offer them, they will give you 800. If you knock them down to maybe, let's say 450, they accept £450,000. Now this guy has a potential rating of up to 160. So what have I done? Of course, I've set that potential rating as a minimum of 150, and we have put him in the team of Copenhagen. We're keeping him Scandinavian, viewers. We're keeping him Scandinavian. We're sending him to Copenhagen in the Danish league and seeing what carnage this guy can produce. So, without further ado, this is the player that we are looking at right now. 2 years' time. Let's have a look at him then. Here he is, just 2 seasons later, and a current ability of 40 higher than what he was before. Isaac Bergman Johansson has already produced the goods potential-wise. At just 18 now, he is considered a 3-star player for Copenhagen after 2 full seasons in the side. Some really good attributes here with the likes of acceleration and his fast touch. Determination will get him by. He has very good passing and vision for a centre midfielder, especially in this type of league. We've mentioned before, like Conrad Wallem in the other league. Remember, he was only a potential rating of 140 or 150, I can't remember. But this is a guy with 160 potential rating, so he can do even better. He could potentially be good enough to play in the Premier League for that mid-table side. However, we've put him in the Danish league because it is a league that he should dominate. So it's exciting to see how they get on. How have they been getting on, Luke? Well, this season was a very successful one. They won the title by 5 points. They won the cup quite easily, I'd imagine. And they were knocked out in the second round by Chelsea in the Europa League. So that is great stuff. The season before, however, they didn't win the league. So his first season in the league, he didn't do too well. As you can see, I've signed some good players. Billy Gilmore being one of them. Remember, I am in charge of the signings. This is the tactic we are playing him in. We are playing him in this weird formation right now. It is a Ryan Cassidy tactic, Klopp's mentality monsters, which you can find for free to download in the Omega Loot Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, go join the Discord. It is free. There's so many people there to help you. There's so many people there who just like to talk Football Manager, and you get all the updates of these player spotlights. You get to guess nationality, which, by the way, nobody guessed the last one again. So there's so many benefits from Discord, and it's just a downloadable app. You'll have so much fun. I promise you that. I'm in there every now and then. You get to speak to me personally. You get to speak to Ryan Cassidy and just ask him to pick his brain. He will definitely help you. Antonio's in there. Peter Salino, I mentioned earlier. They're all in there. All these people you see on my live streams are all in there for you to speak to and enjoy spending time with in the Discord. But we've gone off topic, viewers. How has he been doing? So in the last 2 seasons, he played 33 games and 31. And to be honest, I think he had quite good seasons. For a player in the box-to-box midfielder role, 3 goals and 3 assists in the first season with a player of the match of 1. And 4 goals and 2 assists with 2 player of the matches in less games, but a better average rating. He also got 6 goals in total for the season with 4 assists, 10 goal contributions for that player. I'm actually quite happy with that, to be honest. Now, we are at the end of the 3rd season now, and as you can see, not very good. We lost the league by 1 point, so that's disappointing. We did win the cup again, however. We beat Lyngby BK in the final. We also lost in the quarter-final to AC Milan in the Euro Cup after finishing 3rd in the Champions League. So I see that as quite successful, really, because that raked in probably quite a lot of money for the club. Now sitting at £61 million in the balance. So that's fantastic, really, for a club like Copenhagen. But our man is nowhere to be seen yet. How has he done? Well, at the age of 19, yet again, he keeps improving. 139 current ability now. And he looks even better than he did before. A lot of 15s there, which is what we like to see. When they turn green at 15, it looks really good, and that rhymed. Now, as you can see, he can actually play in a number of really good positions, which I consider to be beast positions in the midfield position, in the midfield area. The deep line playmaker, of course, that is my favourite. But the Mezzala we learned from Asta Vrank's is video. That's hard to say, viewers. That's really hard to say. We learned from that video that Mezzala on attack gets you goals. He can play this. He can play Mezzala on attack. Did I choose to go to Mezzala on attack? No, I didn't. I kept him at a box-to-box midfielder throughout the rest of the video, where I started in this little number formation and tried going for it because I noticed we might have been struggling. And as you can see, I've managed to bring in some big players to play alongside him. Nasi Univire, Lovren Meyer, who is a signing, by the way, not just a loan signing, and Rian Brewster, who scored loads of goals, so that's really good. But anyway, we don't care about that. How has our young Isaac Bergman Johansson been doing? Not as good, viewers, as the last season, but I still consider this to be a good season. 6.98 average rating, 4 assists, 1 goal, 1 player of the match. I think that's quite good considering the position he's playing and the league we are playing in. If we look at stats, and if we do look at stats, this is where I think he kind of excels. He won 93% of his tackles in midfield. That's really good. That is a strong number. And two of the tackles were key. He only lost 5 tackles throughout the whole season. That's really good, isn't it? Passes-wise, he made 86% of his passes for a centre midfielder who's playing at a high level. In other competitions as well, the Champions League, where they like to be dominated. Again, I'm quite happy with that number. Maybe if we can just tick the league, 86%, it's exactly the same. That's a shame. But still, for a centre midfielder, that's really good. You normally see numbers like that on centre-backs because they only tend to pass to other players in the midfield or, you know, in other players in the defence. So to be honest, I'm quite happy with 86% possession. Only failed 133 passes, and 46 passes that he made were key passes. That's what we like to see. He also covered a huge amount of distance per 90 minutes, a 12.4, which we know from the previous video was actually a really high number. One thing I did actually want to look at from now on, and I probably will forget this in other videos, so that's, you know what I'm like. But the pros and cons, that the reports that they see him as. I mean, we could go through different ones. It would have different pros and cons. But let's just go with the top one, to be honest. Let's just see what the top one says each time and not argue about it, because we could be here all day, viewers. Now, we have a professional individual, so that's fantastic. That means a professionalism and ambition put together creates a very good mental player, as in like personality wise, and then they're more likely to reach their full potential. So that's obviously a really good thing. Possesses great pace, which we've already seen. So for a centre midfielder, that's an added bonus, to be honest, that he's got really pacey. He's really pacey. Passing ability underlines his technical prowess, so that's fantastic. Made improvements on his decisions and also made slight improvements on his passing over the last 2 months. We will see that in a second. Currently operating at the Super League level, that's fantastic. Can still improve, can play in a couple of positions, as we can see from this. We can even play him on the left if we really wanted to, and considered a very smart player. Good. Now, he is fairly susceptible to injuries. Has he had many injuries? I mean, we'll see that. He's had a few, and he's missed a couple of weeks here and there, but in 3 seasons, he's still played a fair amount of games, so I think we can be happy with that. But he is very one-footed, and he has work to do on his marking, which you consider that to be a priority in your centre midfield. Depends on what position you're playing him. And he also fits into the secondary group, but that depends what club they're at, really. So other than that, I think the pros and cons have come out very good for Isaac Bergman Johansson. Now, we're at year 3, so we will take a look at his progress on his attributes across all time and see what has happened. We will get rid of my face for just 1 minute. I do apologise, viewers. I know you only come here for my looks, but we can see a lot of these attributes, technically, mentally, and physically, have all gone up. 3s, 4s, even some 5s. Now that is fantastic to see, especially where they are needed in the position that he is playing, which you can see highlighted once I do this. So once I do this, you can see the position that has highlighted. Really, the only thing that hasn't gone up is aggression, which is very hard to progress. Outside of that, everything else is going up. Long shots, yes, could be worked on. Tackling wise, as a box-to-box midfielder, 9 tackling, I'm happy with that. We've seen already from his stats that was actually really good. So other than that, mentally, he has progressed absolutely fantastic. And physically, he is very good. His natural fitness is lower than what we would expect, but the stamina makes up for it. So we're all good in that regards. And there's my face again. You're welcome. Now, at the end of year 4, we're back to winning the league. So that is great. Although we didn't win the cup, unfortunate, time to cry, we are doing really well in the league, winning it by 10 points. Nice. Okay, we played 32 games this season. How many, because now we know he is susceptible for injuries, how many did our man Isaac play? He's at a current ability now of 151, so he's improved even more so yet again. I can see a couple of 16s. That is naughty. Now, history, he played 30 of the 32 games, so injury, susceptible for injuries, it doesn't matter. But he's had his best season. 7 goals, 2 assists, 2 player of the matches with the highest average rating of a 7.2. Great stuff. Really happy with that. Overall in total, he got 9 goals and 4 assists. So he's had a fantastic season. Probably because the players around him are a lot better now. And as we can see here, he's got 2 really good defenders in behind him. The box-to-box midfielder on support. I wanted to vary it up. Like, obviously, I've seen when I was doing the Astor Franks video at the same time as this one, because I loaded them into the same database, hence why I've got a couple of Ajax players. Because of that, then I was able to see how Astor Franks was performing really well in that Mazzala on attack. So I knew that Mazzala on attack in this kind of formation was working really well, but I thought I wanted to see what the box-to-box midfielder was like. I wanted to try the deep line playmaker when we changed Astor Franks over. I'm not one to just stick to one thing and because it's working, because then that's a very linear thing to show you. I want you to see that maybe other options are better, but maybe when I'm trying other options, it turns out worse. Like the deep line playmaker. Once I changed Aston Franks to deep line playmaker, it didn't necessarily perform as well as it did before. I seen that it was doing really well, but I kept this man on a box-to-box midfielder. I wanted to see how he was performing throughout the whole time in this position. But overall, once again, we can see 89% of his tackles were won, so he actually lost a few more this time, but 86% of his passes were successful, and he actually got nearly 50% of his shots on target, so he's getting better, viewers. But it is the final season that we are going to see Isaac the Iceman. Because of this, we were actually sacked after this point of the video, because Copenhagen themselves did not perform very well, despite scoring 32 goals with Michy Batshuayi. I know, right? Don't ask. The Danish league can be very difficult. Obviously, I won it with Brøndby in my Conquering Scandinavia video. Sorry for spoilers, but that was 6 months ago. It is a difficult league to win. How has our man got, though? Because that's the main reason we are here. Well, he's still at 151 current ability, but he still has that potential start left. So maybe he can reach the 160. Who knows? Now, has he had a good season? 31 appearances, 4 goals, 3 assists. So not as good as the season before, but still a good average rating. Picked up 2 player of the matches. He got 7 goals and 7 assists in total throughout the whole season, because he actually scored 2 goals at a continental level. So that's fantastic. Cup-wise, did we win the cup? We didn't. We were knocked out in the semi-final and knocked out of the quarter-final by Arsenal after, to be honest, a really successful Champions League group stage, considering the teams that were in it. Inter Milan and Man United obviously expected to go forward, but we won both the games against Hoffenheim 5-1 and 3-0 to make sure we got that Europa League place. So we pretty much did our job there. That's, if you're a Copenhagen manager, that's what you'd be hoping for with that group. But it is just a league form, and that's a shame, because that is where we were sacked, and that is where we had to end the video and end the highlight going forward, whereas the other guys, they managed to progress on to 7 seasons. This is where this man starts. But what you can take from this video, I think, is that this man for the price is obviously worth it. Although his value is only 1.6 million, you have to take into consideration he has a future transfer. He's on loan at the minute. He's only 21. And the fact he's playing in the Danish league, which means his value won't be as high as what it would be in the Premier League. If this guy was in the Premier League, with all of those things in consideration, you'd be looking at 5-6 million at the least. If you took away the future transfer, you're probably looking around about 10 million, because for a current ability player of 151, I mean, a lot of Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United's players are lower than 151 current ability, so this guy technically should be better. Whether they're spread out in the correct places is something different, but maybe if we did put this man in the Mezzala on attack, which I know is a very good position for a centre midfielder to get goals, he might have performed even better. Who knows? But that is up to you guys to try out. Isaac Bergman Johansson, what is your thoughts down in the comments for 450k for an Icelandic player? I think that's fantastic. And of course, you also remember that he is only 21 at the end of this video. Just 21, and we managed to get 5 successful seasons out of him where he really stood out in the Danish league. So I think that's all in all really good. Before he even reaches his prime, he still has another 5 years to get there. Another 5 years of that man playing at the highest level, and you don't quite know what his attributes look like, but that is obviously well in advance in a player spotlight. We only really tend to go about 5 to 7 years nowadays, because that's all we really need to go to see the success that we are getting. But I hope you enjoyed the video nonetheless. I hope it was worth your time, and if it was, remember to smash that like button. I'm all I asking. It's a nice little button down underneath your video, and it's free to press. Don't press it twice though. You know what that does? It cuts it out. So only press it once, as well as making sure that that subscribe button says subscribed on it. And if it doesn't say that, then press it, because we are on the route to 500. We passed that before. We are on the route to 5,000 subscribers, and I'm hoping that you can get me there before my birthday. 28th of July is my birthday. We have a couple of weeks from me recording this, and we've just gone over 4,800. So we need 200 more subscribers to get to that goal. of 5,000 by my birthday. It's a goal I never thought I'd manage to get because, to be honest, I never seen myself doing videos much longer if I never really got to 1,000 subscribers. But we managed to get there. We are smashing through all the goals one by one. Now I need you to help me get to that 5,000. Can you help me get there? That would be amazing. But of course, thank you very much for watching the video. Patreon link is down below or at the end of the video if you would like to sign up to Patreon. Just $2 a month can really help me progress and get further into the future, going forward, getting full time, and then bringing you guys more videos in the future. That would be fantastic. I'm hoping that you can see the video again on the weekend, the last midfielder that we have for the player spotlight, because you guys hit that 250 like target. That will be on the weekend, Saturday at midday. Make sure you're there. I will see you there. Bye bye. Well, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, there's another one below that I have picked for you to have a look at. Also, if you'd like to sponsor me as a content creator by pledging to my Patreon page, you can do just that by following the link below and be like one of these wonderful people. Thank you.